Hey, Bob.
What are you doing? Do I see what you're doing?
I'm trying to get some sleep. We've been working on this video for like all night, and I would like to get some sleep before class tomorrow.
Well, I brought you something.
What? What did you bring me?
It's a book.
It's a story that I want to share with you that was passed down from my parents and my grandparents and my grandparents' parents, and I'm passing it on to you.
Molly, this is if you don't have time.
Now let me tell you a story about the Liar's Bench at BBC Week 2.
Molly, I was there.
It was a harrowing journey. We first began discussing scenes and songs and characters like the elusive Dark Bear.
I took away from the trip to Brown County is how resonant all of this stuff is in the present day.
It was centered around the question of I have something good to do here. Remember? I mean, that actually came up in the research that Frank thought that there was something good for him to do in Brown County. And do we know what that was?
Frank's job.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's really interesting how we've seen it hit on a couple times before in different ways, but how Frank is like behind the camera and he can't really interact with people in a normal Brown County. And it was like really seductive and dark, and I was like, oh, that's weird. So I never got that out of my head. And her pictures just for me are so
I love quote unquote Dark Barrel.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's a better way to say that, but I just love Dark Barrel. Like, she's not this innocent, like, little girl, like...
Yes.
And there's this girl that this main character keeps running into throughout his entire journey, but she's like, there for him, and then all of a sudden
she is going to be more antagonistic, that we keep in mind that she's also a person, you know? I think that, you know, she can do...
Where is the dividing line between the image and the real thing? Do you know, between the image that he is selling?
Well, yeah, I think another thing that works about it is that except for maybe like small town deaths, we haven't really seen the people in the town wanting something outside of it. Again, we've talked so much about people wanting in.
Right.
Playing crafts with boys, like just, and that just says a lot about his character if he gets along so well with kids, and he's like, you know what I mean? So he's like, really, I just want to like.
And we like the photo of him on the bench because it's just
reading,
like, he's like
reading the newspaper.
It's just it's like sort of tragic that photo. It's like
He does have all these really good traits, like he's so good with kids. Like but he's a drunk and he like does all this moonshine stuff. So we really wanted to make him like redeemable.
Oh, sure.
I guess.
It's interesting because he's. But once I sat down, I had all of these ideas going through my head, and I was like, oh, this person put this in there, and this person put this in there, and I was like, okay, no, just try something and see how it works. So then I just tried to tie everything together. So it ultimately came together, and then at the end, I was like, it's called the Liar's Bench, and there's no Liar's Bench. Just with
lie, right? Where we should go from there.
And some of the things that was happening in the little groups was really starting to affect some of this other stuff. And I didn't want it to get to a point where we were, you know, millions of stars in the sky, but we couldn't see a picture in them. Do you see what I'm saying? And that was kind of how I thought
Tragedy struck when the 16 students were plagued with the case of writer's block and snow days and dentist visits. Is there anything else? And also, it was a trying time for everyone. Things were getting intense. People were.
What are you working on?
Do you actually know?
Yes.
Sort of looking at the opening, sort of.
What's your song?
Or other opening starts.
We're going to start with the founding of Brown County, the town. And we're going to end with the death of Brown County, the town.
Yes. That's like a, what, 100 years? 400 years span?
Quasi-futuristic.
I mean, it's still there now,
It's
so it's in the future.
In the future. When the robots attack.
There's going to be giant
When the
flying
robots invade. Song?
Yeah, it goes a little bit like this.
beautiful. That's beautiful.
It's just them with the axes at the liar's bench like, what do we do? That's the whole song.
Yes.
Finishing up hers now, and then
Pressure's on
more ideas keep
Kirsten.
coming,
I
and
know,
once
come
we-
on, hey, I just.
Kirsten's the slacker. I'm just kidding.
Slacker.
There's always one.
Take a picture of this bench. I'm gonna bean you in the head with a horseshoe.
When he misses, I'll get you.
Because Justin and I were gonna work on it together, and then I was like, why don't you just add Anna? Like,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
but sorry.
How do you feel about that, Anna?
What?
Third wheeling it. Third wheeling it. How does Anna secretly feel about Bob and Justin?
It's really cramping our style. That's my confession. But don't ever tell. She can never know.
I'm gonna throw onions at you.
Just want. I don't know what I want, but I want. You know, yeah.
Maybe one too many shots of whiskey with your OJ this morning?
I am not drunk. I am not a drunkard.
That doesn't count. Why? Cause it wasn't the right color. It was the same color. Oh yeah. Help me.
Or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, calm down.
Calm down. Calm down. You don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down, Sam.
Like finding someone else to open up with you.
Whoa.
Frank.
Alright.
5 years later.
Just, yeah, we have a very specific style for it, like a dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Bob, stop moving around.
I got you, Bob.
There you go. Sorry. This is fun.
Yeah, I want to open it like that.
Yeah, just wait him out a bit and he'll sucker himself out.
Face.
14.
Turn that camera off.
Everyone pulled together at the end and were reminded of what we were striving towards. Community. And we sang about it together
Conflict,
through
if
song.
they would open their minds and listen to each other. I said that.
Don't you agree?
Oh, yes.
Yeah? Okay, good. All right, there's like 12 different kinds of fears.
Yeah.
He will be there, yeah. Yeah.
He grabs him from.
Good stuff.
Was there was a timeline in the
Community.
Throw out answers.
Hate that word so much.
For community.
Okay? What else?
That we've been talking about, and everything, specifically I was going back to what the Brown County people talked about with us, especially when we were there, and even in the prospectus that you had for this grant, that, you know, what they wanted was for us, wow, let's, there we go, for us to show the community. I mean, this was their main thing.
They helped each other out. You know, they loved their neighbor. They sacrificed for each other to keep each other afloat. So that something more important than a bench would happen that completely distracts everyone's attention, so that the tourists, the people living there, the artists, everybody comes together to save something or
could be instrumental in showing.
No. This is how Joel figures out the song.
Your thought was, and that's why the world is falling apart. Going into Allie.
Okay.
no, not good enough.
Brown County was changing.
With
Yes.
the seasons as well.
Exactly, yeah.
So he sells.
That's the whole one.
We'll probably start thinking of how it moves, and
Yeah.
it's just really exciting.
This when it never ends.
Wish someone would just send.
Sit on the avenue
And wish for a better view.
watching the world go by.
To reach past these city lights.
Trying to pick up
Cool. Thank you. Could you maybe tell me the story like next week or something?
As you like it.